It's a good thing Subaru makes it out there on their own set of virtues, like affordable all-wheel drive, a boxer engine, and basically being the Swedish car of Japan. Because their cabin tech is not where they shine, at least not in the 2010 Legacy without spending a lot of additional money. Let's check the tech, if we can find any. Our Legacy is a base car, a 2.5i, in ruby red pearl. The styling is thoroughly look-alike on the outside, looking like what you might call a Camry 6. But if the outside is boring, bordering on pathetic with those tacked-on door sill ground effects moldings, the inside is much more refined, and this cabin speaks to being a car for grown-ups.
Now, the first thing I noticed inside this 2010 Legacy was not the cabin tech, but there's damn little of it, but the style of the interior is really quite nice. Good materials all around, no hard plastics, at least not many, unless they're posing as faux brushed aluminum, which is a pretty good looking finish, but they've really brought this car up. Nice looking instrument panel, you've got an eyebrow display up here with some of the key information on it. I mean, overall, it's a very grown-up car, and in the past, I always felt that Subarus were a little agrarian inside, if you will. But no, this is a nice looking car, head-to-head with an Accord or a Camry, nothing to apologize for. Except when you come to the tech, then it's got a lot to apologize for. Here's the base head unit. It's AM/FM, single slot CD. It does digest MP3 and WMA discs, no big deal. No HD radio. Satellite radio here is ambidextrous on Subarus. You can option XM or Sirius. They're different a la carte options to put on top of this head unit. You do have an aux jack, which is accessed underneath the CD control, and that's your basic mini jack down here in the console. But what's frustrating on this car is the good stuff isn't available unless you get a Legacy Premium, which is a higher priced car overall by like $5,000. You can't even option in a Harman Kardon audio system, a navigation unit. A whole lot of the niceties are relegated to higher trim levels. I don't like that. It should make that available to anybody who wants to take a base car but give it good tech. That said, you can nickel and dime your way into some important upgrades. One's called the Media Hub. It's a USB jack that will, of course, take USB drives and connect to your iPod and bring that up on the display in a way that I can't describe to you because we don't have it on our car. Also, you can get that Media Hub with A2DP Bluetooth streaming. I would do that for $50 more, absolutely. On these low-trim cars that don't have Bluetooth, you can get an optional unit that goes up here on the headliner called a Blue Connect module, which has mic, speakers, and all the buttons up here. It's kind of a factory-approved aftermarket piece. They look good, they work well, but again, not really integrated like it could be. There's also an a la carte subwoofer, a kind of a pancake-powered sub that can go underneath the seat. These work pretty well as well, but again, you got to put a lot of pieces together, and you're not really improving the head unit, you're just grafting stuff onto it. Our car has the optional CVT. It's got a manual shifting gate over here, paddles on the wheel to go with it. Now, being as we've got a fairly pedestrian Legacy, we get a fairly pedestrian engine. This is one of Subaru's boxers, but it's a flat 4, not the flat 6 available on a higher trim car, not the turbo flat 4 available on a higher trim car, just a plain old fuel-injected flat 4. As a result, it's a little bit of a farm implement, but it's a good motor, make no doubt about it, but it's not really a sporting motor to my tastes. Good numbers though, 170 horsepower, 170 foot-pounds of torque. It's just more of a transportation motor than a driving motor, but not bad.
The bottom 3 Legacies all have the 2.5-liter flat 4 with either a base 6-speed manual or optional CVT. Get the CVT for 2 reasons. This engine is not exactly Swiss watch-like, so revving it is no particular joy. And the MPG on the CVT car is much better, 2331 versus 1927 with a stick. That CVT will pay for its $1,000 cost rather decisively. As I mentioned, these 2.5i Legacies are not cars for people who love to drive, but they do have a certain upscale solidness that I gotta say I came to like.
Okay, let's price a Subaru Legacy 2.5i. The base car is about $20,600. On top of that, lots of techie options that are nickel and dimey. $300 for that Media Hub USB port, $350 if you want it with Bluetooth streaming. Duh. About $398 for satellite radio, $300 for the powered sub, another $400 for that ceiling-mounted Blue Connect hands-free rig. $1,000 more for the CVT. Given the nature of this car and the significant MPG improvement, I'd go for it. Now, if you want a navigation rig in this car from the factory, you've got to spend $5,000 more to get the limited edition with a lot of non-tech stuff added in, and then $3,000 more to get the navigation and power sunroof package.
CNET.com/live is the place to find your favorite CNET tech shows. From hottest gadgets to the latest tech news, we stream it live 5 days a week at CNET.com/live.